Stress is not your enemy. It feels like it is. The pressure, the anxiety, the racing thoughts. But what if I told you the real problem is not stress itself, it's how you respond to it? Over 2,000 years ago, Stoic philosophers like Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus faced war, loss, betrayal, and uncertainty. Yet they remained calm, unshaken, in control. Not because life was easy, but because their minds were strong. In this video, you're going to learn how to stay calm under extreme pressure, how to stop overthinking, how to control your emotions, and how to become mentally unbreakable. By the end of this journey, stress will no longer control you. You will control it. Stress is not what happens to you. It is how you interpret what happens. The Stoics believed one powerful idea: we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Seneca. Think about that. You are not stressed because of the situation. You are stressed because of the story you are telling yourself. What if I fail? What if things go wrong? What if I'm not good enough? These thoughts create stress, not reality. You don't control events, but you control your perception. And that changes everything. This is the most important principle in Stoic philosophy. If you master this, you master stress. There are only two things in life: things you can control, things you cannot control. That's it. Things you can control: your thoughts, your actions, your reactions, your attitude. Things you cannot control: other people, the past, the future, external outcomes. Yet most people spend 90% of their energy worrying about things they cannot control. And that creates stress. Focus only on what you can control. Let go of the rest. As Epictetus said, make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens. Why do people break under stress? It's not because they are weak. It's mind. Your mind is like a muscle. If you don't train it, it collapses under pressure. Common mistakes: overthinking everything, seeking control over uncontrollable things, fear of failure, attachment to outcomes. Pressure reveals your level of discipline, not your worth. The more you resist, yes, you create. But when you accept reality, you become calm, unshakable, powerful. You cannot always control what happens, but you can control how you think about it. This is called reframing. Example: instead of saying, "This is stressful," say, "This is a challenge I can handle." Instead of, "Why is this happening to me?" say, "What can I learn from this?" Every problem becomes training. Every challenge becomes growth. As Marcus Aurelius said, the obstacle is the way. Most stress comes from reacting too quickly. Something happens, and instantly you panic. You overthink. You react emotionally. But Stoics do something different. They pause between stimulus and response. There is a moment. In that moment, you have control. Next time stress hits, stop. Take a deep breath. Observe your thoughts. Choose your response. This simple habit can change your entire life, because stress evolves into something more dangerous. Anxiety. That constant feeling that something is wrong even when nothing is happening. But here's the truth. Anxiety is not reality. It is prediction. And most predictions are wrong. The Stoics understood this deeply, especially Seneca, who said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Today, you will learn how to break that cycle. Anxiety is the fear of what might happen, not what is happening. Think about it. You're anxious about the future. You replay past mistakes. You imagine worst-case scenarios. But none of these exist right now. They are mental illusions. Your mind is creating problems that don't exist, and then reacting to them as if they are real. That's the trap. One of the biggest causes of anxiety is trying to control the future. But the future is uncertain by nature, and trying to control it will always lead to stress. As Epictetus said, do not seek for things to happen as you wish, but wish for things to happen as they do happen. You cannot control what will happen tomorrow, but you can control how you prepare today. Stoic practice: shift your focus from what if something goes wrong to what can I do right now. This brings your mind back to the present, where peace exists. This might sound strange, but it is one of the most powerful tools ever used by Stoics. It's called negative visualization. Instead of avoiding fear, you face it. How it works, you imagine the worst-case scenario. What if you fail? What if things don't go your way? What if you lose something important? Now here's the twist. You don't panic. Why this works? When you face fear mentally, it loses its power over you. As Seneca taught, he robs present ills of their power who has perceived their coming beforehand. Result: less fear, less anxiety, more control. The way you talk to yourself determines how you feel. Most people have a negative inner voice. I can't do this. This is too hard. I'm not ready. That voice creates anxiety. Stoic shift: replace it with discipline. I will handle this. I've survived worse. This is training. As Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Perfection is a hidden source of anxiety. You want everything to go perfectly. So you overthink, delay, and stress yourself out. Perfection is impossible, and chasing it creates pressure. Stoic alternative: focus on progress, not perfection. Take action. Learn, improve. Repeat. When anxiety hits, your body reacts instantly. Your heart races. Your breathing becomes shallow. You feel overwhelmed. Immediate reset technique. Do this. Inhale slowly for 4 seconds. Hold for 4 seconds. Exhale for 6 seconds. Repeat this 5 times. This signals your brain you are safe, and your body calms down. Anxiety is not your destiny. It is a habit, and habits can be broken. In the next part, you will learn how to stay calm in chaos, how to control emotional reactions, how to become mentally unshakable under pressure moments when everything goes wrong at once. Pressure rises, emotions explode, and most people lose control. But not the Stoics. Men like Marcus Aurelius ruled empires in times of war, yet remained calm. Why? Because they mastered one thing: emotional control under pressure. And today, you will learn how to do the same. Anyone can stay calm when life is easy, but chaos reveals who you really are. When things go wrong, do you panic? Do you blame others? Do you lose control? Or do you remain calm, focused, and in control? You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your training. If you haven't trained your mind, chaos will control you. Most people think, if I feel it, I must act on it. That's the mistake. Anger, fear, frustration, these are signals, not orders. As Epictetus taught, it is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them. What this means doesn't mean you must react. Feeling fear doesn't mean you must run. Feeling stress doesn't mean you are weak. You always have a choice. This is one of the most powerful shifts you can make. Instead of being controlled by your emotions, you observe them. Practice this when chaos hits. Say to yourself, I notice I am feeling angry. I notice I am feeling anxious. Why this works? You create distance between you and your emotions. And in that space, you regain control. As Marcus Aurelius practiced, he would step back mentally and observe his thoughts without judgment. Chaos feels overwhelming because everything happens fast. Your mind races, your heart beats faster. You react instantly. Stoic strategy: slow everything down. How? When something intense happens, pause, take a slow breath. Look at the situation clearly. Respond, not react. Speed creates mistakes. Slowness creates control. Resistance creates suffering. You want things to go your way, but reality doesn't always cooperate, and that creates stress. Stoic acceptance: accept what you cannot control, not as weakness, but as power. As Epictetus said, don't demand that things happen as you wish. Less frustration, more peace. Clearer thinking in every chaotic situation. There are 2 types of people: those who panic, those who lead. The calm person becomes the strongest person in the room, not because they are louder, but because they are in control. You cannot control the storm, but you can become the calm within it. Calm is not something you are born with, it is something you train, and you are just getting started. In the next part, you will learn how to build mental toughness, how to stop breaking under pressure, how to become emotionally unbreakable. Because staying calm is not enough. You must become unbreakable. Life will test you. Pressure will hit you. People will doubt you. Situations will challenge you. And in those moments, only one thing will determine your success, your mental toughness. The Stoics mastered this. Men like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius didn't just survive hardship. They became stronger because of it. So will you. Mental toughness is not about ignoring pain, it's about enduring it. Without breaking, it's the ability to stay focused under pressure. Keep going when things are hard. Control your emotions in difficult moments. Act with discipline, not feelings. Stoic truth. Comfort creates weakness. Challenge creates strength. Pain, discomfort, struggle. Stoic perspective. Pain is not your enemy. It is your teacher. As Seneca said, difficulties strengthen the mind. As labor does the body. Shift your mindset. Instead of saying this is too hard, say this is making me stronger. Every challenge you face is shaping you into someone more powerful. This is one of the most powerful Stoic practices. Voluntary discomfort. You intentionally do hard things, not because you have to, but because it trains your mind. Examples: taking cold showers, waking up early, fasting occasionally, doing difficult tasks without complaining. Why this works? When you choose discomfort, you become stronger. So when life forces discomfort on you, you are ready. As Epictetus believed, the more you train yourself in hardship, the less you fear it. The motivation is unreliable. Some days you feel like working, some days you don't. If you depend on motivation, you will fail under pressure. Stoic rule: discipline is stronger than motivation. You do what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. As Marcus Aurelius reminded himself at dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, remember your duty. Most people want life to be easy. But an easy life creates a weak mind. Stoic mindset: don't wish for an easy life, wish to be stronger. Every difficulty you overcome builds your resilience. Your identity shapes your actions. If you see yourself as weak, you will act weak. But if you see yourself as disciplined, you will act with strength. New identity. Tell yourself, I don't quit, I handle pressure, I grow through pain. Repeat it. Live it. Become it. Mental toughness is not built overnight. It is built daily, through small acts of discipline, through discomfort, through control. In the next part, you will learn how to stop overthinking completely, how to gain total clarity, how to master your thoughts. You've learned how to handle stress, control anxiety, stay calm in chaos, and build mental toughness. But there is one silent enemy left: overthinking. The constant noise in your mind, the endless analysis, the fear of making the wrong decision. It drains your energy. It steals your peace. And worst of all, it keeps you stuck. But the Stoics had a solution. Men like Marcus Aurelius mastered their thoughts. And today, you will learn how to master yours. Overthinking is not intelligence. It is fear. Let's break it down. You overthink because you fear making mistakes. You want control over everything. You seek perfect outcomes. You doubt yourself. Your mind keeps running, trying to solve everything, but instead it creates more confusion. Stoic truth: clarity comes from action, not endless thinking. This is where most people get trapped. They believe everything they think. But here's the truth: not every thought is true. As Epictetus said, do not believe everything you think. Example: you think I'm going to fail. This won't work. I'm not ready. But these are not facts. They are assumptions. Stoic practice. Question your thoughts. Is this true? Do I have evidence? What's the worst that can happen? This breaks the cycle. Too many choices create confusion. Confusion leads to overthinking. Simplify your decisions. Set clear priorities. Reduce unnecessary choices. Focus on what truly matters. Example, instead of thinking, what should I do with my life? Ask, what is the next right step? Small clarity beats overwhelming confusion. Overthinking thrives in delay. The longer you wait, the more your mind creates fear. Rule: act before your mind talks you out of it. As Marcus Aurelius lived by, action creates clarity. Practice, decide quickly, act immediately, adjust as you go. Perfection is not required. Progress is. Overthinking often focuses on things outside your control, what others think, future outcomes, past mistakes. This creates mental chaos. Stoic rule: if you can't control it, let it go. As Epictetus taught, focus only on what is within your power. A calm mind is a powerful mind. Simple practice. Every day, sit in silence for 5 to 10 minutes. Observe your thoughts. Let them pass without reacting. You don't need to control every thought. You just need to stop chasing them. Overthinking is a habit, and like any habit, it can be broken through awareness, through action, through discipline. In the next part, you will learn how to build daily habits for a stress-free life, how to stay consistent with discipline, how to create a powerful routine, but knowledge alone is not enough. Peace of mind, clarity, and resilience come from consistent daily practice. The Stoics didn't just think, they acted every day, every moment, and today you'll discover the daily habits that make a mind unbreakable. The first hour of your day sets the tone for everything. The Stoics called this morning meditation or reflection. How to practice. Wake up intentionally. Don't reach for your phone first. Ask yourself, what challenges will I face today? How can I respond with wisdom? Visualize difficulties. Anticipate small frustrations or stresses. Set your intention. Commit to responding calmly and rationally. Why it works. By mentally preparing for the day, you reduce surprises. Your mind stays proactive, not reactive. As Seneca said, every morning, ask yourself, what will I do today to be a good person? Gratitude is a powerful stress antidote. Most people focus on what they don't have, creating stress and envy. The Stoics flip this. Daily practice: list 3 things you are grateful for. Reflect on small wins or blessings. Appreciate life as it is. Stoic says, gratitude shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance. It strengthens mental resilience and reduces emotional turbulence. As you learned earlier, discomfort builds mental toughness. Make it a daily habit. Examples: take cold showers, skip a meal occasionally, walk or exercise in challenging conditions. Delay small pleasures. Why it works: when you voluntarily embrace small hardships, life's unexpected difficulties feel easier to handle. The Stoics didn't just start the day intentionally, they ended it intentionally. Evening reflection allows you to process stress, mistakes, and growth. How to practice: review your day. Ask, where did I act with wisdom? Where could I have controlled my mind better? Forgive yourself for mistakes. Commit to improvement tomorrow. Stoic insight: this reflection reduces rumination and strengthens mental clarity. Stress accumulates in small moments unnoticed. The Stoics practiced mindfulness in daily activities. Simple techniques: pause before reacting to frustration. Observe your breath when overwhelmed. Notice emotions without judgment. You stay calm, even in high-pressure moments. Your mind is what you feed it. Constant negative news, social media comparison, or toxic conversations increase stress. Stoic rule: consume only what benefits your mind. Focus on truth, wisdom, and knowledge. Avoid drama and distractions. As Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, guard your mind like a fortress. Do not let it be invaded by useless noise. Daily habits are the backbone of mental mastery. Small, consistent actions create unshakable calm and clarity of mind. In the next part, you will learn how to face fear fearlessly, how to make bold decisions under pressure, how to turn challenges into opportunities. Daily habits are the backbone of mental mastery. Small, consistent actions create unshakable calm and clarity of mind. Fear is natural. It is meant to protect you. But when uncontrolled, it paralyzes your mind, limits your actions, and steals your potential. The Stoics didn't live without fear. They learned to face it head-on. Today you will learn how to turn fear into strength and courage. Fear is a signal, not a stop sign. It tells you something important is at stake. Your mind is predicting danger. Most people misinterpret fear as a reason to freeze or retreat. Stoic insight. As Seneca said, we suffer more often in imagination than in reality. Fear is often a creation of the mind. It is anticipation, not reality. The first step in mastering fear is identification. Ask yourself, what exactly am I afraid of? Is this a real threat or a mental projection? What is the worst-case scenario? Why it works? When you clearly define fear, it loses mystery. And mystery fuels anxiety. You can confront what you understand, not what your imagination creates. You've learned about negative visualization before. This is its power applied to fear. Practice. Imagine the feared outcome vividly. Accept it mentally. Plan how you would respond if it happens. Stoic insight. When you confront fear in your mind first, it becomes easier to handle in reality. As Epictetus taught, he is a brave man who fears nothing unnecessarily. Fear shrinks your world. The antidote? Action. Break the fear into small, manageable steps. Act immediately, even if it's uncomfortable. Gradually expand your comfort zone. Fear loses control. Confidence grows. You become unstoppable. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is acting despite fear. Daily Stoic practice. Remind yourself, I can handle difficulties. Fear does not control me. I act with wisdom and discipline. Life will always present challenges. The Stoics saw challenges as opportunities for growth. Every fearful situation is training for the mind. Every difficulty strengthens character. As Marcus Aurelius said, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Fear is natural, but it does not have to control you. By understanding it, naming it, visualizing it, and acting despite it, you transform fear into courage. How to make bold, clear decisions under pressure. How to trust your judgment. How to become decisive in chaos. Most people hesitate. They second-guess themselves. They freeze. But the Stoics acted with clarity. They trusted their judgment. They moved forward without being paralyzed by fear. Hesitation comes from three sources. Fear of failure. What if I make the wrong choice? Overthinking. Analyzing endlessly without action. Attachment to outcomes. Wanting perfect results. Stoic truth. You cannot control outcomes. You can only control your decisions and actions. As Epictetus said, make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens. Before you act, know your purpose. Ask yourself, what is the goal? What matters most in this moment? What aligns with my values and discipline? When purpose is clear, decisions are faster. Doubt decreases. Action becomes natural. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, if it is not right, Do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. Decision-making under pressure is not guesswork. It's a product of preparation. Stoic insight. Your mind is trained through daily habits, reflection, and experience. When pressure hits, trust your preparation. Act boldly based on wisdom, not impulse. Fear of mistakes will always exist, but preparation gives confidence. Perfection is an illusion. Bold action does not require certainty. Strategy. Decide quickly based on available information. Take action immediately. Adjust as you go based on feedback. Stoic principle. Action creates clarity. Waiting creates confusion. Every decision carries risk. The Stoics accepted this. Practice, make your best decision. And own the outcome, whatever it may be. Learn, improve, repeat. As Seneca said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it hesitating."
Bold decisions create momentum.
Action builds courage. Courage builds clarity. Stop overanalyzing. Trust yourself. Move forward. When life tests you, decisive action makes you unstoppable. Decisiveness is a skill. The more you practice it daily, the more fearless, confident, and effective you become. Stress is unavoidable, but most people let it drain their energy. The Stoics taught us to harness stress as fuel, turning it into clarity, focus, and action. Stress is often seen as an enemy: racing heart, sweaty palms, racing thoughts. But the Stoics saw it differently. Stress is the body and mind signaling importance. It's energy waiting to be directed. It's alertness waiting for action. It's a challenge your mind can transform into opportunity. As Marcus Aurelius reflected, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Pressure is only overwhelming if you resist it. Practice. Instead of saying, "I can't handle this," say, "This challenge makes me stronger." Why it works. Resistance creates tension. Acceptance directs energy toward action. The Stoics used reframing to turn obstacles into opportunities. As Epictetus said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Stress creates tension in the body. Tension blocks clarity. Simple Stoic practices: take a brisk walk, stretch or exercise, practice controlled breathing. Physical activity channels nervous energy, making your mind sharp and focused. Stoics believed the body and mind are deeply connected. A calm body creates a resilient mind. Stress thrives on uncertainty. The more you try to control the uncontrollable, the more energy you waste. Stoic rule: focus only on your actions, choices, and responses. Let outcomes unfold naturally. This redirects energy from worry into productive action. As Seneca wrote, "We are more often frightened than hurt, and we suffer more in imagination than in reality." Every stressful moment is a chance to grow. Practice. Identify the core action you can take immediately. Break tasks into small, actionable steps. Move forward, one step at a time. Stress becomes energy. Paralysis turns into momentum. Fear transforms into courage. The Stoics didn't just endure stress, they used it to improve themselves. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How will this make me stronger? How can I act with wisdom right now? Stress is no longer the enemy. It becomes a teacher. It becomes fuel for your success. Stress is inevitable. Suffering is optional. By reframing pressure, focusing on what you can control, and channeling energy into action, you transform stress into strength, focus, and unstoppable performance. Not just surviving stress, not just controlling your emotions, but creating a life where external chaos cannot disturb your inner peace. The Stoics believed happiness and peace come not from external events, but from mastery over the mind. Daily Stoic principles. Focus only on what is within your control, your thoughts, actions, and reactions. Detach from outcomes. Accept results, but act wisely. See obstacles as opportunities. Every difficulty is a chance to grow. When you internalize these truths, nothing outside you can shake your calm. Unshakable people have clarity of purpose. Ask yourself daily, what is my highest priority? How will I act with virtue, courage, and wisdom today? Stoic exercise. Each morning, set your intention. Each evening, reflect on whether your actions align with it. This creates internal alignment. It reduces stress caused by uncertainty and indecision. The Stoics believe that living well is living virtuously. 4 core virtues: wisdom, make decisions based on reason, not emotion; courage, act boldly despite fear; justice, treat others with fairness and integrity; temperance, control desires and impulses. Why this matters: virtue is your internal compass. It makes you steady, unshakable, and immune to external chaos. Living unshakable requires self-awareness. Reflect each evening, what did you do well? What can improve? Express gratitude daily. Small recognition of life's blessings keeps perspective and reduces stress. Small daily practices compound over time. They create resilience, clarity, and inner calm. Stoicism is not theory. Train your mind daily. Face challenges with courage. Control your reactions. Align actions with values. When practiced consistently, these habits create an unshakable life. You will not be perfect, but you will be strong. You will not avoid chaos, but you will move through it calmly. The external world may be unpredictable, but your mind can be your fortress. Living unshakable is a journey. It is built through practice, reflection, courage, and virtue. With the tools you've learned in this series, you can control your emotions, face fear boldly, make decisions decisively, turn stress into energy, live a life of calm and clarity, commit to daily practice, live with Stoic wisdom in every moment. And with this, you will be unshakable. The Stoics practiced amor fati, meaning love your fate, accept everything that happens, even adversity. Embrace challenges as necessary for growth. Stop resisting what is outside your control. Practice this always. When something difficult occurs, say internally, this is exactly what I needed to become stronger. Reflect on how every obstacle contributes to your growth. Fear and frustration diminish. Stress turns into opportunity. You act with clarity and purpose. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, accept whatever comes to you woven in the pattern of your destiny, for what could more aptly fit your needs? Another powerful Stoic tool is memento mori, the reminder of mortality. Why it works:
Keeps priorities clear.
reduces fear of failure, enhances gratitude for every moment. Daily exercise: spend 2 to 5 minutes visualizing your limited time on Earth. Ask, am I living intentionally? Let this guide your decisions and actions. When you realize life is finite, stress over trivial matters fades. Courage, focus, and clarity naturally increase. Used a mental perspective shift called view from above. Imagine yourself above the earth, looking at your life. See problems in a larger context. Observe how small most daily stressors truly are. Overthinking and worry shrink. Inner calm increases. Decisions are made with perspective and wisdom. As Seneca reminded, true happiness is to enjoy the present, without anxious dependence upon the future. Advanced Stoics mentally rehearse difficulties to build resilience. How? Visualize possible setbacks or conflicts. Plan how you would respond calmly and effectively. Accept that failure or difficulty may occur. Why it works: reduces fear of the unknown. Prepares your mind for adversity. Turns stress into readiness. This is a proactive approach to mental toughness. Mind becomes strong, flexible, and unshakable. Stress is reduced naturally. Confidence and clarity increase daily. Accept what you cannot control. Take full responsibility for your actions and reactions. See challenges as opportunities for growth. Align actions with virtue, wisdom, and courage. Sit quietly in a distraction-free space. Steps: close your eyes and take 10 deep, slow breaths. Reflect on a stressful or challenging situation from your past week. Ask yourself, what was in my control? What was not in my control? How could I have responded with wisdom? Visualize yourself responding with calm, courage, and clarity. Strengthens mental rehearsal. Reduces fear of future stressors. Reinforces Stoic mindset. Take a walk without distractions. Practice. Observe your surroundings calmly and intentionally. Notice your breathing and posture. Reflect silently on challenges without judgment. Reframe stress and anxiety as energy for growth. Stoic benefit. Combines movement with reflection. Reduces mental clutter. Reinforces calm, clear thinking under pressure. Take a deep breath in and slowly exhale. Again, inhale, hold for a moment, exhale fully. Feel your body in this space. Notice the tension you carry. Notice the thoughts racing through your mind. This moment belongs only to you. Focus on what is within your control, your breath, your attention, your reaction. Close your eyes. Imagine a recent stressful situation. See it in detail. Now, step back as an observer. Ask yourself, what was truly in my control? What was beyond my control? How did I react, and how could I improve? Visualize a Stoic version of yourself. Calm, collected, unwavering. Respond to the situation with wisdom, courage, and discipline. Feel the difference in your body and mind. Let calmness replace tension. Now anticipate a challenge you might face tomorrow. Imagine it vividly with all its details. Accept that difficulties may arise. Plan your Stoic response, your action rooted in virtue, not fear. As you visualize, notice the energy in your body. Stress transforms into focus, determination, and readiness. Life is unpredictable. Imagine setbacks, disappointments, and failures. Now embrace them fully. Say internally, this is exactly what I need to grow. This shapes me into a stronger, wiser, and calmer person. Feel your mind expand. Obstacles are no longer enemies. They are teachers. Reflect on your life's limited time. Visualize the years ahead, the days, the moments. Ask yourself, am I living intentionally? Am I acting with virtue, wisdom, and courage? Feel gratitude for this moment. Feel the urgency and clarity that mortality brings. Every breath, every action, every choice matters. Slowly open your eyes and move your body gently. Stretch your arms, roll your shoulders, breathe deeply. Feel the energy of focus in your body. Let tension melt. Let awareness sharpen. This is your Stoic power in motion. Your mind and body aligned, ready for anything now. Integrate everything. Center your mind. Reflect on challenges with calm. Reframe stress as energy. Face fear with courage. Decide boldly with clarity. Act virtuously with purpose. Imagine yourself moving through life like this, undaunted, clear, and unstoppable. The Stoics call this living in harmony with reason. Know this, your mind is a fortress. Your thoughts are under your command. Your stress is your teacher. Your life is your canvas. Whenever chaos arises, return here. Breathe, reflect, reframe. Act with virtue. You are unshakable. You are calm. You are unstoppable. Take a moment to settle into the space. Sit comfortably with your feet grounded, hands resting on your knees, and shoulders relaxed. We begin a journey not just to manage stress, but to transform it into strength, to cultivate a mind that remains calm, clear, and unshakable, no matter the storms outside. Stress is universal. Everyone experiences it. It is not a sign of weakness. It is a signal from your body and mind that something requires attention, something that demands growth. Many people feel crushed by it. They let fear, worry, or overthinking control their actions. But the Stoics of ancient times, Like Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, and Seneca taught that stress is a tool, a guide, a teacher. And today we will learn how to listen to that teacher, how to harness its energy, and how to respond with calm, courage, and clarity. Imagine a young man named David. David works in a high-pressure office. Deadlines loom, emails pile up, and every day brings a new challenge. One morning, David wakes up feeling tense. His heart races, thoughts swirl, and he wonders, will I ever handle all this? This is stress in its pure form. It is the mind and body signaling an imbalance. The Stoics remind us, stress itself is not the enemy. The racing heartbeat? It is energy, the tension in the shoulders. It is readiness, the anxious thoughts. There are messages about what matters to you. Reflection prompt. Take a moment now and notice your body. Are you tense anywhere? Are your thoughts racing? Label it. This is stress. It is not me. It is a signal. By doing this, you step outside the stress. And that is the first Stoic step toward mastery David learns about the Stoics. He discovers that what causes suffering is not external events, but how we respond to them. Imagine David in his office. An urgent email arrives. Normally, he would panic. But now, he pauses and asks, what is in my control here? What is not in my control? He realizes he cannot control the client's request or the looming deadline, but he can control his response. He can plan, prioritize, and act with clarity. This is the core Stoic principle. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Epictetus. Exercise. The pause technique. When you feel stress rising, stop for 5 seconds. Take a deep, controlled breath. Ask, what can I control here? Focus only on what you can act on. Do this now, even briefly, and notice how tension begins to shift. David notices another truth. Stress is shaped by perception. Heavy workload is not inherently stressful. It is your interpretation of it. Imagine two people receiving the same challenging task. One panics, overwhelmed by fear of failure. The other sees it as an opportunity to grow, learn, and prove competence. Which one succeeds? Which one thrives? The difference is mindset. The Stoics practiced reframing. They transformed obstacles into opportunities. Guided visualization, close your eyes. Picture a stressor in your life. Imagine it as a teacher, not a threat. What lesson is it offering? How can it strengthen your mind or skills? Picture yourself acting calmly, decisively, and wisely. Open your eyes slowly. Notice the shift in energy. Stress now feels like potential, not paralysis. Stress is not only in the mind, it resides in the body. David feels his chest tight, his shoulders tense, his jaw clenches. The Stoics recognize the body-mind connection. Calm the body, and the mind follows. Practice 5-minute Stoic breathing. Sit upright, feet grounded. Inhale slowly for 4 counts. Hold your breath for 4 counts. Exhale for 6 counts. Repeat 10 times, focusing on releasing tension with each exhale. As you breathe, imagine your stress flowing out with the exhale. Feel your body soften, your mind settle, and clarity emerge. David practices this daily. Within weeks, he notices that challenges no longer feel overwhelming. They are manageable, actionable, and even motivating. Imagine David now facing a hectic day at work. Emails flood in, meetings overlap, and deadlines loom. Normally, his heart would race, his hands tremble, and he'd feel paralyzed under the weight of tasks. Today, something is different. David recalls the Stoic principle he learned. It's not what happens to you, but how you respond that matters. Epictetus. He pauses, inhales deeply, and observes the chaos, not as a threat, but is a field to exercise his mind and practice resilience. This is the essence of staying calm in chaos, seeing stress as opportunity, not oppression. David sits quietly at his desk, mentally stepping outside himself. He notices a tightness in his chest. He feels tension in his shoulders. Thoughts race, "I'll never finish this project on time." Now he practices Stoic observation. This is a racing heart. This is tight shoulders. This is anxious thought. None of it is me. It is only sensation and perception. By labeling his experience without judgment, he breaks the automatic reaction of panic. Guided exercise, 10-minute observation. Sit quietly, feet grounded. Close your eyes and scan your body from head to toe. Observe tension, thoughts, and emotions. Say internally, "I notice this. I accept this. I do not have to be controlled by it." Breathe slowly, allowing tension to release with each exhale. After 10 minutes, you feel anchored, calm, and aware, even amid chaos. David's office is noisy. Phones ring incessantly. Colleagues are stressed. But instead of feeling overwhelmed, he asks, "How can I use this environment to strengthen my mind?" The Stoics call this using obstacles as practice. Every stressor is an opportunity to exercise patience. Every challenge is a chance to train your focus. Every unexpected event is a lesson in self-mastery. Imagine David facing a critical meeting. The client is frustrated, demanding, almost aggressive. Instead of reacting emotionally, David remains calm, listens deeply, and responds thoughtfully. Think of a recent situation that stressed you. How could you have used it as a training ground for your mind rather than seeing it as a threat? Write down at least 3 ways you can transform stress into growth opportunities. Stress often comes from our own inner chatter. David notices a recurring thought, "I can't handle this. I'm not enough." The Stoics remind us we can control what we say to ourselves. Replace fear-based thoughts with rational, empowering statements. Example: "This is impossible. I can act wisely, one step at a time." Guided inner dialogue practice. 10 minutes, close your eyes and visualize a stressful situation. Identify the negative thoughts that arise. For each thought, write a Stoic counterstatement rooted in wisdom, virtue, or focus. Repeat them silently, feeling their energy replacing fear. Over time, this rewires your mind, reducing anxiety and increasing clarity under pressure. Moments of high stress, David remembers a Stoic tool, the pause. Instead of reacting instantly, he stops, breathes, observes, thinks, "What is within my control here? What action aligns with my virtue and purpose?" This pause is a buffer between stimulus and response, creating space for reason to guide action instead of emotion. Practical exercise, the 3-second pause. When stress or anger arises, pause for 3 slow breaths. Ask yourself, what is the most rational, virtuous response right now? Act with calm, not impulse. Even a 3-second pause can diffuse tension and prevent reactive mistakes. Imagine David, now sitting alone after a long day. The office is quieted, but his mind races. The office is quieted, but his mind races. A big presentation looms tomorrow. He feels fear. What if I fail? What if I embarrass myself? Most people let fear control their mind and body. Heart races. Thoughts spiral. Sleep is impossible. Stress becomes overwhelming. But Stoics saw fear differently. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Fear is not a wall. It is a signpost. A signpost showing what matters, what challenges growth, and where courage is required. David takes a deep breath. Today, he will practice facing fear, transforming it into clarity and confidence. David begins by writing down all fears associated with the presentation. Fear of judgment. Fear of failure. Fear of disappointing others. The Stoic approach starts with awareness. Name your fear without shame or avoidance. Exercise fear mapping. Take a notebook. Write down the fears that currently occupy your mind. For each fear, identify. Is this fear within your control? Is it based on perception rather than fact? Circle the fears you can act on and leave the rest as observations, not commands. This exercise creates mental clarity, separating what you can act upon from what is beyond your control. David now uses negative visualization, a Stoic technique. He imagines the worst-case scenario for the presentation. The client criticizes him. The slides fail. The audience reacts poorly. At first, anxiety rises. But David reminds himself, even if this happens, I can respond with calm and virtue. My piece is not dependent on approval or outcome-guided narrative exercise. Close your eyes and picture your fear in vivid detail. Imagine the scenario unfolding. Mentally rehearse responding calmly and wisely no matter the outcome. Repeat until fear begins to lose its grip, replaced by preparedness and courage. The mind realizes the worst case is not catastrophic, it is manageable. David decides to act despite fear. He prepares his slides meticulously, practices his speech multiple times, focuses on what he can control, his words, tone, and composure. The Stoics called this courage in action. Fear is not eliminated by avoidance, but by facing it and acting anyway. Anxiety becomes energy. Fear becomes fuel for performance. Reflection prompt. Think of a fear you are avoiding. What small step can you take today to face it? How can action replace anxiety? Even a single deliberate step strengthens the mind and transforms fear into confidence.